Operation Fortune is the newest film from Guy Ritchie, starring the likes of Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, just to name a few. It is a spy espionage type thriller comedy where basically Statham and his team are trying to stop this evil threat. And by doing so, they recruit a famous actor to get involved, which is an interesting concept. But this is my review. Hope y'all are having a great day. I'm a few days late on this one. I didn't do it right out of the theater. So I'm a few days late on it. But we're here to talk about Operation Fortune. This is one that was, I believe, supposed to come out last year and then got delayed. I was really looking forward to because I really enjoy Guy Ritchie's movies. I like his style of both writing and direction. I think it's very unique. Talked about this with Wrath of Man. I love The Gentleman. That movie's, I really, really enjoy that movie. So I was looking forward to this one. The trailer looked good. Really liked the cast. Was really intrigued and invested. And it's fun. It is a fun time. It is a lighthearted time at the movies. I think it succeeds in the fun nature of it. It's good, clean fun. Not too hard to digest. I think in general, overall, it is something that people will have a good time with. I was in a relatively packed theater, which was a surprise for this one. I wasn't expecting that. But I was in a relatively packed theater, and people were having a good time. They were laughing, they were hooting, they were hollering. It is a funny movie. It's got some good jokes. It's got some good laughs. But I'll get to some of the writing iffies I have in the negatives. Positives. I think the action's good here. I think it's an action comedy, so you got to have good action. I like the action. I think it's executed well. Statham, while I don't think he's perfect to lead a movie. I think he needs to have someone like there supporting him, like in Hobbs and Shaw. He's got The Rock supporting him, and they're good together. I don't necessarily think he can lead a movie on his own, but I think when it comes to action, he definitely knows what he's doing with the action. So I think that in general was good. I like the performances overall. Aubrey Plaza's in this, and she's great in anything she's in. She brings a lot of really good charm, sarcasm, and comedy to her roles. And I think here she's perfect. She's perfect for this casting. I didn't love her character all the time, but I'm going to get into that in the writing. I don't necessarily blame that on her. I think that is more of the writing. But I think she is definitely a standout. The rest of the cast is good as well. All fun kind of roles. But in general, I think this is an average movie. It's got a lot of potential. I don't think it ever gets close to reaching it. You do have the very snappy dialogue and writing from Guy Ritchie. Like, that's the one thing that stays consistent in his movies. He knows how to direct movies. He knows how to structure movies. I don't think there's any problems there. I think it's a very tightly written movie. I think it's quick, it's fast, it keeps the pace up, which I enjoy. And I enjoyed that here as well. I think Ritchie's direction style with the editing and the cutting and all of that is great. I had no problems with that here. I thought that was all really good. And I think the writing that goes along with that was also good. But we know that is his forte. We know that he knows how to do that well. So I wasn't expecting that to not be good. Like, if you're good at something, you should continue to execute on it every time. And thankfully, that continued here with Operation Fortune for Guy Ritchie. Okay, negatives. The writing is not great. I think it's incredibly generic, very formulaic. And at times childish in not a great way. So I was mentioning Aubrey Plaza's character in particular. there's some childish humor here that just, it didn't land. And I think that's the case for a lot of the humor here. It just didn't fully land, for me at least. Like I said, there were people in my theater hooting and hollering the entire time, having a grand old time. And hey, if you were one of those people and you really enjoyed it, good for you. I'm glad you had a good time. But for me, there were some moments where I kind of like roll my eyes. I'm like, oh, that one's not great. And one of those is in the trailer. So if you've seen the trailer, it's a line from Aubrey Plaza that I think everyone kind of knows at this point from the trailer. So it's heavily formulaic. It's very generic. I think the villains are generic. The twist is generic. A lot of cliches, a lot of tropes that were hit here that just kind of was like, it's just unoriginal. And it's just kind of not really, I didn't vibe with that. There are saving graces. I think the route of recruiting the superstar actor was actually an interesting kind of route. It brought some nice comedy. I think it upped the stakes a little bit, even though we knew there really weren't any stakes in this movie. Like, this is a movie where there's not any stakes. I don't really know what we think this movie is. And at the same time, like, the villain is pretty obvious. The twists and turns are pretty obvious. It's not a dumb movie. That's a really harsh way to say it, but it's a very simple movie. Not in a good way. It's a simple movie where it's like, I've seen this movie 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 times before. So I just think I wanted more. I wanted some more uniqueness. And they had that angle a little bit, but I just don't think they executed on it to a point, but not anywhere. Like the entire like second half of the second act and the third act, it just turned into this generic action comedy film. And that, it kind of lost me in general, which was kind of disappointing. Overall, good direction, snappy script, some good performances, but the second half of the movie just kind of loses me with the generic, tropey, very cliche writing that it didn't work well with me. I'm just like, I've seen this movie 15 times before. So some good, there's some bad. It's a middle tier movie. I don't think it excelled in anything, but I also don't think it did anything horrible. I don't think the writing's great. I don't think it's horrible. There's definitely room for improvement. Go down below in the comments. Let me know, what did you think of Operation Fortune? Did you like it? Did you know why? I gave Operation Fortune a 79 out of 100. It's still enjoyable. The action's fun. You have some nice comedy in there. But it had the opportunity to be so much more, and it just didn't execute on that, which I think is a damn shame because the formula was there. It just didn't work. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Again, let me know in the comments, what you think. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know why. Go follow me on social media. Find me on Instagram. Find me on Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out my latest video essay. I appreciate you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next video.